Okay, today we're going to be talking simple car repairs, how to change a battery. But first, we're going to talk about AGM versus fluid cell batteries and what their differences are. Then we're going to swap this bad boy out. Simple things first. How to tell if it's an AGM battery. Most of the time, it will say AGM on it. Most of the time, in the part number, which is located right there, it says 24F-AGM, which would designate that it is a AGM. Then the company. Okay, folks, when you're putting a car battery in your car, there's a couple things you want to look for, like a date. I'll show you. It says 03 of 22. So that when you take your battery out, you can see how old it is when you have to replace it. Some similarities to an AGM battery, I will show you. AGM battery has a negative and a positive. Wow. What I mean by negative is that little minus sign right there. This would be your negative side. And this one is covered up by the battery cable, but this is your plus side. Oh, okay. Now we're moving places. Before we start taking the battery off, you're going to want a 10mm socket. Any 10mm socket will do. You'll want to take off your battery hold down bracket. Nice and simple. Just like that. Now they're loose enough to take off by finger. Look, now that you have your battery hold down bracket off, you can take your negative battery cable off. A cheap little tool. It's got a post cleaner and terminal cleaner. Smaller post cleaner, terminal cleaner. Recommend getting one. They're like $3. But we're gonna clean her up before we take her off there. So I'll get back to you here in a minute. All right, one tip, I'll tell you. Most of the time, if you see your car battery and you say, hey, it's below 10 volts, more than likely, you're gonna have to switch it out. There is the answer right there. There's something called internal resistance. And I will show you how to test that also. So here we go. Your negative to your negative and your positive to positive, you should be a blinking over limit, which means that there's zero resistance, which is good. And if you switch it back around, now you should have your negative to your positive and your positive to your negative. And now you have resistance, 3.3 million ohms. And that means that there's resistance actually good. But if it's over 7 million, your battery's probably bad. Tip number 2, always test to make sure that your battery is good. And I will show you with a cool tool. You can buy a wireless battery testing kit like this off of Amazon for real cheap. I'll put a link in the description. But check it out. This battery power status of charge is 92%. Battery voltage is 12.55. Battery life status of health, 100%. Measured starting current, 930. And it is a 712 input rating. That's a nice tool to have because you never know if what you're getting off the shelf has actually been charged. We have our negative cable off, which now means that it's safe to take your positive off. Yay. As you can see, these nice little felt pads, we're gonna save those. All right. Now this little plastic cover just pops right up off of there. Just like that. Pop it right off. Now we're ready to pull our battery out. A little plastic tray in the bottom that you can just pop right out of there too. Nothing attached. pop it right out. There she comes. Let's clean her up. Disconnect your positive battery terminal first. The reason that is that the current has no place to go until you have grounded the battery out. And remember, please be gentle when tightening. They don't have to be so tight that you have to break your knuckles. Tightening down a 10mm bolt is not designed for that. Just make sure that the battery cable doesn't move. That's all that matters. And then simply reconnect your negative, just like that, and then tighten them down. And just a little bit past snug. And then give it a good old snug and dry. There we go. We're in. Don't forget your battery hold down. That's something you don't want to forget. There we go. We're in business. And that is the tips and the tricks to changing batteries. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button. And down in the description, there are some of the tools that I used today. So if you want your life to be a little bit easier, make sure you get them.